What's up, Broncos Country? Get ready because a bombshell just dropped that nobody saw coming here in Denver. I'm serious, folks. News that hit like lightning on a Wednesday afternoon and could completely change the direction of our roster for the upcoming season. You know that when the phone rings in George Paton's office, things can heat up quickly. And today was exactly what happened. A move that caught everyone by surprise and already has our Denver Broncos family debating intensely on social media. But hold on, I'm going to tell you everything down to the smallest details, because this trade that happened today might be much deeper than it appears at first glance. Stay with me, and you'll understand why Sean Payton and the front office made this decision now, just days before the final cut deadline. Folks, let's get straight to the point. The Denver Broncos just traded wide receiver Devon Vele to the New Orleans Saints. That's right, you heard it. The 27-year-old, who was in his second season with us, was traded for a 2026 fourth-round pick and a 2027 seventh-round pick. But let's better understand this situation. Denver Broncos family. Vele came here in 2024 as a seventh-round pick. A tall guy, 6'5" and 210 pounds, who caught attention during the draft precisely because of his imposing physique and development potential. But it's not that simple, Broncos Country. Vele already entered the league at an advanced age for a rookie, 26 at the time. This happened because he served on a Mormon mission for 2 years, which delayed his football career a bit. Now, about to turn 28 before the end of this season, time was running out for him here in Denver. And look, I won't lie to you, his rookie season wasn't the easiest. Injuries took him out of 4 games, and recently he also missed mandatory minicamp due to a leg injury. For a guy who was already in a fierce battle for a spot on the final roster, these absences definitely weighed on the scale. Now, let's talk about the tactical context of this decision. Sean Payton, our head coach, knows the New Orleans Saints very well. After all, that's where he built his reputation as one of the league's best offensive minds. And do you think it's a coincidence that this trade was precisely with the Saints? I doubt it. What happened here was a smart play by both sides. The Saints needed more depth in their receiver corps, especially with a tall guy who can be useful in the red zone and third down situations. Meanwhile, the Broncos managed to turn a player who probably wasn't going to make the 53-man roster into 2 future draft picks. Tell me, Broncos Country, did you notice the timing of this trade? We're just days away from the final cut deadline, which happens next Tuesday. This means the front office already had a pretty clear idea of how the roster was going to be formatted, and Vele, unfortunately, wasn't in the plans. And here's where a very interesting question comes in. Who gained space with this departure? Pat Bryant, our third-round rookie, certainly breathes easier. The kid has shown interesting flashes during the preseason and now has a better opportunity to secure his spot on the active roster. But it doesn't stop there, family. This trade also tells us a lot about Sean Payton and George Paton's philosophy. They're not afraid to make tough decisions when they believe it's best for the team. Getting 2 draft picks for a player who could have simply been cut is an excellent deal from a roster management standpoint. Let's also analyze what this represents financially. Vele was on a 7th-round rookie contract, meaning relatively cheap. But in a league where every roster spot is worth gold, sometimes it's better to open space for developing other talents or bringing in veterans with more experience at specific positions. And there's another detail that can't be overlooked. This trade happens at a time when several teams are making their final adjustments. The market was hot, and the Broncos knew how to take advantage of the demand for young receivers. The Saints, who know Payton's work with receivers well, saw in Vele an interesting opportunity. Now, from a roster development standpoint, this move makes complete sense. The Broncos have invested heavily in the wide receiver position in recent years. We have Courtland Sutton as our established WR1, Jerry Jeudy, who was in a contract year, and now a new crop of young talents fighting for space. What strikes me most, Broncos Country, is how this trade reflects the maturity of our organization. We're no longer in a phase of desperate rebuilding. We're a team that can afford to be selective with our roster and maximize the value of each position. What's up, Denver Broncos family? If you're enjoying this complete analysis and want to stay on top of all our Broncos moves, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because here, it's Broncos Country 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Hit the notification bell too so you don't miss any bombshells like this one that dropped today. Look, I'm going to be very direct with you. I think it was a smart decision by the front office. Vele is a talented guy, I have no doubt about that. But professional football is a cruel business, where every decision can impact the franchise's success. At 27, going on 28, he was in a complicated situation. The injuries didn't help, and in a position as competitive as wide receiver, you can't mess around. The Broncos managed to extract value from an asset that could have simply been lost in cuts. And let's be honest, getting a 2026 fourth-round pick and a 2027 seventh-rounder for a guy who was picked in the 7th round last year is a hell of a deal. This shows that other organizations saw potential in Vele, but also confirms that our front office knew how to read the right moment to negotiate. Now, what I really want to see is how this move impacts the development of our other receivers. Pat Bryant has everything to benefit from this situation, and I have a good feeling about this kid's potential. So, Broncos Country, what did you think of this trade? Smart or too hasty? I want to know each of your opinions here in the comments. Do you think Pat Bryant will take advantage of this opportunity? Or should we have held on to Vele longer to see his development? And what do you expect from our 2 new draft picks? Leave everything in the comments. Like this video if it was useful to you, and share it with all your Denver Broncos family friends. Because together we're stronger, and it's by discussing these moves that we better understand our franchise's direction. And don't forget, next Tuesday, we have the final cut deadline. That means more excitement is coming. Stay tuned to the channel, because I'll bring all the analysis and repercussions of every move by our Broncos. Until the next video, Broncos Country, orange and blue forever.